Do you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please have a seat.
Can you please state and spell your name?
My name is Maureen Hammes, Maureen
How are you currently employed?
with the Davenport Police Department.
How long have you worked for the Davenport Police Department?
25 years.
Can you briefly describe your educational background and any training you've received for your position?
Yes. I graduated from Western Illinois with a law enforcement degree. I was hired by the police department in 1997. I attended the Iowa Police Academy, and then I came back and graduated from the FTO program. And then I became a patrol officer. I was a patrol officer for 10 years. And then 15 years ago, I became a detective.
So you've been a detective for 15 years?
Yes.
Do you work with a particular unit within the, I guess, Detective Bureau?
Yes, I am a Special Victims Unit.
And what kind of cases does the Special Victims Unit handle?
Typically, we handle child abuse and sex abuse cases.
Specifically, over the last 15 years, have you worked a lot of cases, whether it's child abuse or sexual abuse cases involving children?
Yes.
And have you interviewed children as a part of your job?
Yes.
Do you have any idea how many children you would have interviewed?
I don't know how many, but it's been a lot of children.
Now, I want to clarify something we had heard earlier in this trial. Are you a certified forensic interviewer?
No.
Is there such thing as a certified forensic interviewer?
There's certificates for being a forensic interviewer, which I do have a certificate that I received back in 2012, where I took a 20-hour course in forensic interviewing of children.
What?
So you have had training in forensic interviewing.
Yes.
And I believe you described it as a 20-hour course back in 2012.
Yes.
Wow.
Because of that training, are you often asked to interview children that perhaps are involved in different types of cases, not even cases being handled by SVU?
Good morning,
At times.
Kathy.
Now, Detective Hammes, why did you go through that forensic interview training back in 2012?
Well, it was offered to me, and it was something that interested me, and it was also part of the unit that I was in.
You know, is there a difference in interviewing children versus adults?
Yes.
What are those differences?
There are many differences. Children sometimes don't tell everything right away. They don't tell things in a sequential order. They have a hard time remembering facts. They also don't understand time. They also sometimes give delayed statements and disclosures of things that happen. And sometimes they don't realize the importance of things unless you ask them specific questions or direct questions. And I just don't think kids know what you're asking them. And sometimes you don't understand what they are trying to tell you also, because their minds are different than an adult mind.
So sometimes they might be sharing details that make it difficult to understand what they're trying to tell you.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned some delayed disclosures of certain information. What do you mean by that?
some things can be traumatic for children, and it's not uncommon for people that have been involved in something traumatic not to tell right away. They might piece things together differently. And like I said before, they don't understand the importance of something until maybe later.
Now, specifically with that last topic where they may not share or understand the importance of something, do you interview both, I guess, victims of crimes, children victims of crimes, and also children witnesses?
Yes,
Particularly with children who have witnessed an event. From your observations and based on your training and experience, do those children sometimes not always report the details they don't understand to be important?
yes.
So I want to redirect our attention then to July 10th of 2023. 2020. Thank you. Were you working in the same position back on that date?
I was.
And at some point, were you dispatched to the Jersey Ridge apartments for a report of a missing child, Breasia Terrell?
I was.
And did you make contact with a child we've been referring to as DL at that time?
I did.
Is it fair to say that throughout the entire investigation, from when Breasia was first reported missing to when her remains were located, you had a lot of contact with DL?
Yes.
At any point in time when you were speaking or having contact with DL, did he ever disclose to you that he actually saw Mr. Dinkins shoot his sister?
No.
Did he ever report to you that he saw a bloody machete?
No.
Did he talk to you about a very large knife?
Yes.
Okay. Going back then to July 10th, 2020, when you're at the Jersey Ridge apartment, is that where you first made initial contact with DL?
Yes.
And did you obtain a statement from him at that time?
Yes.
What was his demeanor like while you were speaking with him?
He was like any other 8-year-old child. He was carefree. He had a little dog that he was holding. He wanted to show me the puppy. He was just a normal kid.
Did he seem to appreciate the severity of the situation that was going on?
No.
And did you ask him questions about what had occurred the night before and that morning?
Yes.
Was he able to answer you to the best of his ability at that time?
Yes.
Now, at one point, do you recall asking him about who all he had stayed with the night before?
Yes.
And do you recall who he had reported to you he had stayed with?
He stated that he was with his dad, Henry Dinkins. He was with his sister, Breasia, and he was with his dad's girlfriend. He didn't know her name. And actually, at one point, he called for her to come over and asked her what her name was, which would be Andrea Culverson.
But he had spent the whole night with her and could not remember her name the next morning.
Yes.
That's weird. They don't know her.
Now, while you were there, were you a part of the detectives who would have executed a search warrant at Andrea Culberson's apartment on July 10th?
Yes.
While you were searching that apartment, do you recall locating any bleach?
Yes.
Do you recall where you located the bleach?
Underneath a kitchen cabinet.
And were you wearing a body cam during that time period?
Yes,
And to your knowledge, did your body cam capture the moment when you would have located that bleach?
yes,
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm handing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 157. Have you had an opportunity to review your body cam where you located the bleach?
yes,
And is this a fair and accurate clip of the moment you would have located bleach on July 10th at Andrea Culberson's apartment?
yes.
At this time, Your Honor, the state would offer Exhibit 157 into evidence.
Ms. O'Donnell, we already have a previous Exhibit 157 that was added on Friday, I believe.
I apologize, Your Honor, that did not make our list. So this will be 159.
No objection.
Exhibit 159 will be admitted.
May I publish, Your Honor?
You may.
Before I hit play here, Detective Hammis, can you describe where this video is starting?
It's starting in the kitchen.
But good morning, baby.
So Detective Hammis, from review of your body cam, the bleach you located, would that have been in the angled cabinet underneath the sink?
Yes,
Did you only locate that one bottle?
yes.
And do you recall if it appeared full or anything about it?
I don't really recall that.
Now, at that time that you were searching this residence, had bleach been mentioned at all at that point?
No,
Was there any really reason at that point to document that you'd found bleach?
no.
Now, later that same day, did you conduct another interview with DL at the police station?
Yes,
Do you recall approximately what time that interview would have started?
can I refer to my notes?
Would that help refresh your memory on the time?
Yes,
Make sure you refer to your notes.
You may.
the interview started at 3:48.
In the afternoon?
Yes,
Now, who was all present during that interview?
it was DL's mother, Aisha, and Detective Obert, and myself, and DL.
Now, what was the goal of this interview at the police station?
The goal was to try to find Breasia and see if he had information to help assist us.
So are you really just trying to gather facts and information at that point?
Yes.
Now, what was his demeanor like during this interview?
He was still the same, kind of carefree, just an average, normal kid to interview.
Was he doing anything in particular during your interview?
He had seen some Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse stuffed animals outside. We sometimes give those to kids. It makes them calm down a little bit sometimes if they're anxious. And he had picked out one, and then he had also picked out one for Breasia because he wanted to give it to her when she came home.
Now, was this interview recorded?
Yes,
And have you had an opportunity to review that interview as well?
I have.
And may I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm handing you State's Exhibit 158-1. Is this a fair and accurate copy of the interview at the police station on July 10th of 2020 with DL?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, the state would offer 158-1 into evidence.
No objection.
Exhibit 158-1 will be admitted.
Detective Hammis, you had already spoken a bit with DL back at Andrea's apartment. Is that right?
Yes.
When you started your interview here with DL, did you get right into the questioning kind of right away, or how did you proceed?
I just explained to him that I wanted to talk to him. I was trying to find his sister, and I thought that he had probably some information in his smart brain.
May I publish, Your Honor?
You may.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Did you find some friends?
Yep.
Can I sit over here with you?
Yep.
I like Mickey Mouse. All right. So I know you've talked to a lot of people today, right? You remember talking to me earlier?
Yeah.
You remember what you told me?
No.
You don't remember what you told me? Okay.
No. I always forget stuff.
You always forget stuff? Okay. But I think you could probably tell me some pretty important stuff. How do you spell your first name?
DETORIOUS.
Detorius?
MOSLEY.
And when's your birthday, hon?
October 28th.
2011. And you're gonna be in third grade just like my daughter, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Just like mine.
Turning 9.
Is Detorius is that how, am I saying it right?
DETORIOUS?
Yeah. You know what?
Or Dink.
Or Dink.
DINK.
My daughter's name is Tori, so I like that. Detorius. All right. Okay. So I know that I talked to you earlier, and Detective Obert also talked to you, okay? And I know that a lot's gone on within the day, and we're just trying to get some details out of this little brain, because I know this little brain is a good brain, okay? And I know it's a smart brain. All right. So I know that your daddy picked you up last night. Is that right?
Yeah,
Where did he pick you up from?
my nana house.
Your nana.
614 West 6th Street from number 1.
Okay. And was he always just gonna pick only you up? Was that what he was originally gonna do? Just
Yeah.
pick you up?
Yeah.
And then what happened when Dad got there?
He told me to brush my teeth, and then my sister came. He said she don't mind if he come.
Did she want to go with him? Okay. And was Grandma there?
Yep.
What
My
Grandma-
nana told her don't go, and she went.
Okay, so she wanted to go. So Grandma said don't go, and she went.
Yep.
And what'd your dad say when Grandma said don't go?
All he said was, "Come on, let's go."
He said, "Come on, let's go." And where did you sit in that car?
Front seat.
Front seat. Now, which car was he in?
That black one.
That really cool one with the line on the front?
Yep.
Okay. What kind of car is that? Camaro?
Yeah.
Okay. And did your brother, is it Cardell? Was he there?
No.
Did he want to go?
Yeah.
So was he there?
No.
He wasn't there when your dad picked you up?
Was he at my nana house?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, he was at my nana house.
Okay, so he was there when you got picked up, right?
Yeah.
And did he want to go too?
Yeah, but my nana said
Okay. Did your daddy say no too?
no.
Your daddy did say no?
My nana just said no. He just listened to my nana.
Okay. Did your dad say something about there was no room in the car for you?
Oh, he said there was no room for CJ.
So okay, so Dad didn't want CJ coming.
Nope.
Okay. All right. So CJ, that's Cardell.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. So Cardell wanted to go, but your daddy said he couldn't go because there's no room. And your grandma also told him he couldn't go.
Yep.
And he listened to your grandma.
Yep.
Okay. But your sister did not listen to your grandma, right?
Yep.
All right. Do you know about what time that was? Was that before dinner, after dinner?
It was after dinner.
It was after dinner?
Well, no.
Was it still light outside when you went?
Okay, was Mommy home from work yet?
Yeah.
Remember
Remember?
when with your dad?
When you went with your daddy?
No.
Okay, so Mom, what time did you get off work?
I got work until 5:04.
Okay, so 5:04. So we know that you got picked up before then. Mom off. Were you aware that he was being picked up by Dad,
Oh yes, I was aware that he was getting picked up.
but no one else?
No one else.
When did you find out that he was picked up by
When
somebody?
my mom had called and said, Henry said to make sure that you get the kids something to put on, I'm like, oh, okay, so who else went with him? And she was like, oh, Bree went.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so I just picked both of them some clothes off, because I'm like, I need to break anyways, and need to pick up more hours.
Okay. So where'd you go right after Daddy picked you up?
We went to go get him some cigarettes, and then we went to his girlfriend's house.
Okay, and his girlfriend is who?
What's her name again?
Is it Andrea?
Yeah.
That's her name. Had you ever met her before?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw your dad? Do you know? Before this day.
At the store, bookshop.
When was that? So just in passing, you've seen him? Like he didn't take you or anything? You just seen him? Does he say hi when he sees you?
No, he just gave me his iPhone card and his number.
Okay. Okay. So you don't see your dad on a regular basis?
No.
So were you super excited about going there today?
Yep.
Last night? I would
Because
be
he
too.
said he had the Xbox and a PS4.
Heck yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
Yep.
Right, I want to go too. All right. So, what'd you guys do last night?
Played again.
Where were you playing?
What game was I playing?
Yeah.
GTA.
Is that Grand Theft Auto?
Yep.
Okay. Number 5?
Yep.
And where were you playing that at?
In the living room.
Okay, who was in the living room with you?
Andrea.
Andrea, where was your daddy?
In the room with Bree.
What was he doing in the room with Bree?
So what did I say again, Mom?
Well, just think. Use your brain. What was he doing? Was he sleeping?
No.
Was the door open?
Yeah.
Door was open? Okay. Is there a game in there?
Oh, I just forgot he was playing the game with me.
He was what?
Playing the game.
What game?
It's a jumping game.
A jumping game? Okay. So he wasn't playing with you, he was playing with her?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you sad that he was playing with her and not you?
Yeah.
Okay, you were?
Yep. I was mad.
You were mad? Why were you mad?
Because he didn't play the game with me.
Okay. And so then, what'd you do after that? Did you
We ate dinner.
what'd you have?
Pizza rolls.
Mm-hmm.
A sandwich.
Mm-hmm. What kind of sandwich?
Ham.
Ham sandwich? Was it like one someone made?
Me and my sister made it.
You and your sister made it? Okay. And did you all eat together, or how did that go down?
We had to eat in his living room because he don't have a table.
He doesn't have a table, does he?
No.
So was everyone having dinner together, or just you and your sister?
We had me and my sister.
Okay.
Me and my sister had to sit in the living room.
And then what were they doing?
In the living room, talking and smoking.
Okay, so they're talking and smoking while you're eating?
Yep.
Okay. And then what'd you do?
We was playing the game for a little bit more, and then we went to bed. And when I woke up, I saw her feet kick me. And then I woke up, and then she was gone.
Okay. When you say you saw her, were you in the same bed as your sister?
Yeah.
And was that the room with the air conditioner? Okay. And where was your daddy at?
In the living room,
And where was he at in the living room?
on the air mattress.
With who?
His girlfriend.
Okay. When you went to bed, your daddy was on the air mattress?
And when I woke up, both of them was gone.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Was the door to your bedroom open or closed when you went to bed?
Open.
Open. Okay. And so do you know about what time you went to bed?
No.
You don't know? Okay. Your sister was on the bed though, right?
Mhm.
Do you remember what she was wearing?
A long white tee
Mm-hmm.
and some black shorts.
It's a black shorts. Did you guys go to bed at the same time?
No.
Who went to bed first?
Me. I meant my sister.
Your sister went to bed first?
Yep.
And what'd you do?
Playing the game for a little bit longer. Then I went to sleep.
Okay. When you went to sleep, was your daddy asleep?
Yeah, I heard him.
You could hear him snoring?
Yep.
Does Andrea snore?
No.
You don't?
Oh, I hear.
Okay, so you could hear your daddy snore.
Yep.
Okay.
He loud.
He's loud? Okay. And then when you went to sleep, did you ever wake up at all in the middle of the night? Do you ever wake up to go potty or anything?
Yeah.
Did you do that last night? Okay.
I turned on the light and then I saw Bree was gone.
Okay. Did you go looking for her?
Me and my dad, when he got back, maybe he told me he was lost.
Okay. Okay. So when you woke up, was it light or dark outside?
Morning.
It was morning, so it was light up outside?
Yep.
Okay. So when you woke up, your daddy was gone. Was Andrea there? Did you ask Andrea where anybody was?
I asked her where she said she don't know, but they both left.
She said they both left? And what did she mean by that? Or how did you interpret that? Or like, what do you think she was talking about?
He got in the car. She got in the car with him.
That's how you took it? She said they both left? You took it as they both got in a car together and left. Okay? Did she say that to you? Or is that just what you thought? That's what you thought because they were both gone? Okay, I understand that. Did you ever see your sister leaving the bedroom? You did? When was that?
At nighttime.
At nighttime? Were you in bed when you saw that? What did you see?
I saw her walk downstairs with my dad,
With your dad?
and then they shut the door.
Okay. Were you out of the bed? Or did you get up and watch them do that? Or how did that go down? Because from where that bed is, you can't see that. Or did you just see them leave and you heard it? Or how did that?
I saw them leave.
You saw them leave? What did you see?
I saw them walk down the stairs.
Okay. You
And then
saw.
I heard the door open, because it'll make lots of noise.
Okay. So you heard. So I'm just looking at it from this way. I'm gonna draw. I'm not a very good drawer, okay, at all. Like, all right. So the stairs are over here, and then I'm not very good. These are the stairs. I'm gonna do this. All right, and then I'm not very good at this. The stairs go all the way down here, okay? But up here, this is the windows, okay? And you don't. And there was an air mattress here, right?
That was in the living room.
Yeah, that's in the living room. And then we have couches, a couch here, right?
Yep.
And then we also have a couch
Here.
here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not very good at this. And then this is the kitchen area. I'm just gonna draw like a kitchen table, even though there's no table in there. Right? And then back here is the bedroom, right?
Yep.
Okay. And here's the door to the bedroom. Okay. So you can't really see the stairs, right? You can't, right? Where did you see your dad's sister? In here.
Walking down the stairs.
From the bed, you can't see the stairs though, right? So you just knew they went down the stairs?
I peeked.
Whoa, you gotta tell me that. What'd you peek? What'd you see?
I saw my sister. They were walking down the stairs talking. And
Okay.
then they slammed the door.
Then they slammed the door?
Yep.
Did you hear your sister say anything?
No.
Was your daddy saying anything?
Yeah.
What was he saying?
He was just talking about cars.
He was just talking about cars?
How you gonna get more?
Okay. Was it dark out when you saw this or light out or something?
Light.
It was light out? Okay. Where was Andrea?
Looking in the front window and looking in the back window.
Okay.
Because she was trying to find both of them.
Okay. But when you saw them and you peeked, was it still dark outside or light outside?
Or
It was light outside? Okay. Are you sure about that?
well,
Did you go back to bed?
no.
What did you do?
I'm in the living room. She told me to go in the living room.
Andrea told you to go into the living room. All right. So you're saying you woke up.
Yep.
You said a couple things, and that's why I'm a little confused. You originally said you woke up and they were gone. And you told me that Andrea told you to go out to the living room at some point. All right. And you also told me that you woke up because you heard them and that you peeked and saw them go down and Andrea was sleeping, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to know from your smart brain which way you remember it, because it's a huge detail. It's a huge, and if it's light outside or if it's dark outside is a pretty big detail too. Because I know when Andrea told you to go to the air mattress, I know it was light outside. Is that correct? Okay. Because she said that too. Was she up? Or was she sleeping on that air mattress when
She
you...
was up looking through back and front window for my mom. I meant my dad and Brie.
Okay. And you said it was dark out or light out?
I said it was light.
Okay. When you say it was light, was it like when you're eating breakfast or like when it's,
I couldn't eat breakfast. He didn't let me.
okay. What I'm trying to say though is when you get up and you say it's light outside, is the sun just coming up or is the sun out?
Out.
Out. So when you peeked and you saw them leave,
The sun was out.
the sun was out. Okay, I get that. So you think it was early in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder what time the sun rose today.
Me too.
I wonder if we can find that out. Hey Suri, what time did the sun rise today? Let's see if it says anything. I don't know how to use this watch.
Sun.
The sun?
Sorry, one more time. Sunrise was at 5:38 today.
5:38 today. So that is early.
It is.
Sun rose.
It's pretty bright when I left out at like 7.
You told me he called you at 7:47.
He called me roughly around 7:47, but I was in mid getting dressed because I was like,
Something's wrong with this one. That's why he can't hear the call.
Okay. So the sun is up at 5:38 this morning, and that's where you peeked and you saw them, correct? So you don't know if your sister was there all night or not. Is that correct? Because you were sleeping up until you peeked and saw your dad going down the stairs with them and slamming the door and talking about cars. Okay.
which that excites the kids because that's the reason why he likes to go over there in Midbury.
Okay. So up until
He
that,
wants to go over there because of snacks. Like, oh, you got
he did have some good snacks. He had some peanut butter crunches in there. I was like wanting to get some because those are good.
Did you look up there?
I sure did. I looked
There's a lot of
everywhere.
nice snacks.
Yeah, they do have a lot of
He
good
gave her
snacks.
Oreos. She said,
Oh, they were the vanilla Oreos, weren't they? I saw those on the ground.
She gonna ask Mom. She said, "Oh, I'm going to contrast the night again because he has snacks."
Yes. You know, we got a guy here we call Snacks because all he does is eat snacks all day long. We call him Snacks. Isn't that funny?
Is it him?
Me.
No. Sometimes I can be called Snacks because I'm always eating too. Okay, so we know at 5:38 you saw it was at least 5:38 because it was light. Okay, so once your daddy leaves with your sister, then what happens?
What happens?
What happened after you peeked and saw them walking down the stairs and the door slamming?
Andrea told me to go in the living room.
Where was Andrea at?
Looking back to front window.
So she was looking from each window?
Yep.
Okay, that's what she was doing?
Yeah. You
Okay,
can even ask her.
you can ask
She's
her.
gonna say yes.
Okay, and then what happened? Did you go to the living room? Did you
Yeah.
go back to bed?
I went to the living room. And then I didn't go to bed.
Okay, and what did you do?
I pretend I was asleep. I was trying to turn on the TV. She told me to turn it off.
Okay, and what was Andrea doing while that was going on? While you were pretending to sleep?
She was on her phone after she was working.
She was on her phone. Did your daddy have his phone?
No,
He
it was
did.
dead.
The phone was dead, so your daddy didn't have no phone at all, and he left with your sister. Okay, and then what happened?
And that's all.
Did your daddy come back?
Oh yeah,
And what happened when he came back? How was he acting?
he was acting silly.
What was he doing?
He was just yelling
What was he yelling about?
about his juice missing.
About his juice missing?
Think he drank
It's,
his juice?
no, it was his orange juice.
Okay. Then, what else was he talking about?
Nothing else. Just his orange juice because he got mad. He was yelling at his girlfriend
What was
and
he?
me.
What
He
was,
said, "Who stole my orange juice?"
was she asking any questions to him? Did she ask him where he gone?
No,
Was he asking where Bree was at?
no, he
Nothing.
wasn't thinking about that.
No, I'm asking about Andrea. Was she asking any questions? She wasn't. Did you ask any questions?
No,
No? Okay. So then what happened? Why didn't he feed you? Where'd you go?
I gotta go with my mom.
Why is that?
Because he said she was cussing him out. That's why he said I gotta go back with my mom.
Okay. What was mom cussing him out about?
I don't even know what happened on the phone. When he got off the phone, all he said was your mom was cussing at me.
Okay. Did he say anything about where your sister was? Did you ask him where my sister was? I know that, who packed up the clothes?
To take him over to my dad's house.
Mm-hmm. No, those clothes that your sister had, that you had, that your mom brought.
Oh, my dad.
Your dad, he packed them up?
Mhm.
They gave them to you?
Mhm.
Okay.
I
And
can take him home.
so you could take them home? Okay. Was anyone asking where Bree was?
Well,
Did your daddy drive you anywhere?
he went a couple places.
Let's talk about where your daddy went. Where did he go?
He went to go fishing with a couple people.
He went fishing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He went fishing.
Uh-huh.
He went fishing with more people. And
He went fishing last night?
Yeah.
With,
oh no, not in the last night.
I'm sorry, this morning?
Yeah.
He went fishing? Were you there?
Yeah, I was in the car.
You were in the car? Which car were you in?
That purple one.
Purple one?
Mhm.
Okay. So was this after you peeked and saw?
Yeah.
He went fishing. Who did he go fishing with?
He said some six people. 6 people he saw. Then he gave them $100
He gave them $100 for what?
for he can go fishing with them.
So he could go fishing with them? Where were you?
In the car, I had to sit in the car by myself.
You sat in the car? Did you see your dad get anything out of the car?
He complained he grabbed some bleach, and what I saw in his trunk, he pulled it out. It was a knife.
He had some bleach
Mm-hmm.
and a knife?
Yeah,
How-
bleach and knife.
What kind of knife?
It's a big knife.
So you saw him grab a bleach and knife out?
Yeah.
Where were you at when he
I
went
was
fishing?
I was in the car.
I know, but
And
where was
when we
he?
went to his house, when we went back to his house, he forgot something. He went in the house to grab his big old knife, and then he put it in his trunk.
Okay. So let me talk. What color?
It's purple.
It's purple? Okay. Where did he grab that knife from?
His trunk.
His trunk?
And then he washed it off.
He washed off with what?
The knife,
Washed it off with what though?
some bleach, and some, a rag. He washed it off with a rag.
With a rag? Where was the rag at?
The car.
In his car? Okay. Do you know where he went fishing this morning? Do you think you could take me that way?
I don't remember that way.
What if I drove you down
It's
that
a
way?
long way.
That's okay.
I don't remember. I don't remember where he was at.
Okay.
Just
So
a place that he got stuck.
he got stuck? His car
He
got,
needed another push.
who helped push him?
The 6 people that he went fishing with.
So this morning, after your sister left, he came back and got you, and then he went fishing. Did you see his fishing poles?
He didn't have any.
He didn't have no fishing poles?
He bought it for he can fish with them.
He what?
He bought it for he can fish with them.
So he had the fishing pole?
He borrowed them from,
Yeah.
borrowed fishing poles from other people?
Did you actually see your dad with fishing poles? Or did he tell you he went fishing?
He told me he went
But
fishing.
he left you in the car?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you saw him with bleach and a knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big knife.
A big knife. And he cleaned it?
Yeah.
Okay. What, did you ask him about that?
No.
Okay. Let's talk about, he went fishing. Did you see him go with people, or did he just get out by himself?
He got out by himself when he went down there. There was already 6 people down there.
That's what he told you. Did you see those 6 people? You never saw anybody.
He just told me there was 6 people down there.
He told you there were 6 people down there. How long do you think you were in that car?
Long.
How long?
I couldn't see the time.
Okay. Did it felt like forever though? After your daddy went fishing, where did you go?
He took me to my nana house. I mean, to go to her
To meet your mom?
Yeah.
Okay,
by McDonald's in the parking lot.
okay. Have you ever been to that area where your daddy went fishing?
No.
You've never been there before? Do you know where your daddy has a trailer?
It's at the shop.
I don't know. I'm just asking if you know any other place where your daddy lives. Do you think you would remember?
He don't have a house. He only has a house with his girlfriend.
Okay. Do you think that if I took you to an area, you might be able to say, yeah, I was down this way? Do you think you could do that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. When he got something out of the truck, what, did you see everything he was getting?
All I saw was some bleach and a big knife in a rack.
What color was the rag?
Purple.
Purple? And the knife was purple? Was it in a case or no?
It was not in a case.
It was not in a case?
It was in that. He just poured it out.
How big was this when you tell me?
It was very big.
Show me with your hands how big it was. It was that big? Okay. And bleach. What was the bleach in?
It's in his trunk.
It's in
The purple trunk. In that car that he drove,
The burgundy one, the Impala, remember?
the
he
Impala?
have it in the back of his trunk. It's a big knife.
Okay. And was the bleach in a container or what?
It was in a container.
How'd you know it was bleach? You know about bleach?
I know how it smells.
Could you smell it?
Yeah.
Did he open it up there with you? No? How could you smell it? Or did you not smell it?
I can't smell it because he was down there and I smelled it
He was down
by the fishing.
by the fishing. Was it by the river or by a creek?
Water.
Okay.
Mm-mm. You know what telling the truth is, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Don't lie.
And what does lie mean?
You'll get in trouble.
Yeah, so are you telling us the truth? We're really trying to find your sister.
Yeah, I'm not lying.
Okay. I believe you. I believe you. So after the sun rose this morning, your daddy took you fishing. He told you he was going fishing. And then after you saw him go down there, he said there were 6 people that helped him. He said something about $100. What happened with the $100?
He paid for it.
Who?
My dad.
Paid for what?
The fishing pole.
Did you ever see the fishing pole?
Yeah.
Where was that at?
It was down by a car place.
Down by a car place. Did Dad put the fishing pole in the car at all?
Yeah, it was in his trunk.
It's in his trunk too? Okay. All right, just hang tight, okay? After you went there, your dad took you to Grandma's house. Is that right? Where'd he go?
My mom took me to the house. I could put the stuff on.
You met Mom at McDonald's, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did your daddy call your mom while you were in the car?
Yeah.
What did your daddy say to your mom?
All he told my mom was meet her at McDonald's.
Okay. Do you know what time that was, Aisha?
8:08.
It was at 8:08.
That's the time of the phone call, yeah.
So 8:08.
So probably like 8:13 to 8:15 because that's a little distance from like Checkers and the McDonald's.
Is that
Which McDonald's are we talking?
East Kimberly?
Yeah, he's gonna be.
All right. Is there anything else you remember?
Just that.
Just that? But you think that you'd be able to say, yeah, it was down around this area where he was fishing. Was there roads down there? There was roads? Okay. All right, just hang tight, okay? Do you like those mini minis? I like them too.
My friend told me that my brother said that he had left my charger downstairs because like my phone had died and stuff. And I know
What kind of phone is that?
it's an iPhone.
Here, I have a plug, I'll plug it in.
Okay.
All right? I do have to lock the door, but, okay.
Come here.
All right. So I want to show you a couple pictures, okay? Because they're of different types of knives, okay? Do any of these look like what you saw?
It looked like this one, but this down here is purple.
They look like this, but this was purple? Okay. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to, take you, Mom, and you, and we're gonna drive down to some areas, okay? And it's gonna be us four. I'm gonna put you in the front seat, okay? And we're gonna go, looking to see where your daddy went fishing this morning, okay? Okay. Let me go put these back and we'll get out of here, okay?
So Detective Hammis, as Detorius was describing the events of July 9th into July 10th of 2020, he describes being picked up by the defendant and the situation in which Breasia ended up coming with him. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Now, once they got to Andrea's apartment, he describes playing Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yes.
And where did he say Breasia was when he was playing Grand Theft Auto?
In the bedroom.
And who was with her at that time?
His father.
And where did he describe that DL was playing Grand Theft Auto?
In the living room.
And did he describe what Breasia was wearing when she went to bed?
He said that she was wearing a white t-shirt and black pair of shorts.
And did he describe anything about the size of the shirt?
It was a 4T. It was a big shirt.
A big shirt?
Yeah.
Now, at some point, he talks about being woken up in the night. Do you recall him saying he saw Breasia kick him?
Yes.
Now, you two engage in a discussion about whether he saw Breasia leave the bedroom. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And he described to you seeing Breasia and the defendant walking down the stairs. Is that fair?
Yes.
And you kind of went back and forth about whether it was light out or dark out at that time. Fair?
Yes.
Now he settles with it was light out at that time. Do you know if that parking lot by Andrea's apartment had street lamps?
It did.
And were those street lamps right by their windows?
Yes.
Because initially, he told you that when he saw Breasia leave the bedroom, it was nighttime.
Yes.
And he describes Andrea going back and forth looking out the windows, right?
Yes.
And what was she looking for?
For his dad and Bree.
Now, when you get into the next morning, at some point, he talks about his dad going a couple different places, right?
Yes.
He describes he went to go fishing with a couple people, and then he went fishing with more people.
Yes.
Now, he describes going to a place where he said there were 6 people fishing, right?
Yes.
Now, to clarify, does DL tell you whether he actually saw anybody fishing?
No, he said his dad told him.
Mhm.
And he kept describing his dad went fishing down there. Is that fair? He kept using the phrase down there,
Yes.
that the 6 people were down there by the water.
Yes.
And he describes the place that they went fishing as a long way away. Is that
Yeah.
fair?
Yes.
And it's the place where he got stuck and he needed a push. Also fair?
Yes.
Now, again, when he's talking about the defendant getting stuck, was that something he described DL actually seeing that happen?
No, his dad told him that happened.
And at one point, he mentioned his dad offering to pay these 6 people $100, right?
Yes.
Now, you talk a lot about the knife that was described in some bleach. Fair to say?
Yes.
What does DL tell you about the knife and the bleach?
He says that it came from his dad's trunk and that he could smell it and that the knife was big. And he said it had a purple handle on it.
What did he see his dad do with the knife?
Clean the knife with bleach down by the water.
And again, he used that phrase, down by the water.
Yes.
Did he describe the color of the rag that was used?
It was purple.
Now, at that point in time when you're interviewing DL, was there any knowledge by law enforcement that the defendant had purchased bleach that morning?
No.
Do you recall when law enforcement would have found out about that?
I don't have that specific date.
But certainly not at the time that you were interviewing DL.
No.
Now, towards the end of the interview there, you showed DL 2 photographs. One that appeared to be an axe and one that appeared to be more like a machete. Is that fair?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Because he kept describing a big knife, and those are 2 knives that are big. And so I had them printed off to see if this was what he was talking about.
At that point, Did you have any information about either an axe or a machete being located in any of the vehicles or in the RV or anything like that?
No.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm showing you State's Exhibit 79, which is in this, has those inside it. Do you recognize those?
Yes,
And what is State's Exhibit 79?
they're the two pictures that I showed DL.
And was he able to make an identification from these two photos?
Yes,
And is that what we just observed in your interview as well?
yes.
At this time, Your Honor, the state would offer State's Exhibit 79 into evidence.
No objection. No objection.
Exhibit 79 will be admitted.
May I publish?
You may.
So this was one of the knives that you showed DL, correct?
Yes,
And showing you him, this one here that appears to be more of an axe, was that the other one you also showed him?
yes.
And of these two, which was it again that he, I don't know how to do that the best way, but identified?
The machete style knife.
Again, towards the end of that interview, you told DL that you were going to drive him and his mother around to different locations. Did you end up doing that?
Yes,
Where was the focus of the area where you were driving that day?
down by the river.
And why did you choose to focus on that area?
Because it was the water here in Davenport.
And so earlier during that interview, when DL was describing being taken by water, was there a thought that he may be describing Credit Island?
Yes,
At that point, was there any information that the defendant or DL had traveled anywhere outside of Davenport?
no.
And so then, who all participated in that? I'm going to call it a ride along.
Detective Obert drove. DL was in the front seat, and myself and DL's mother, Aisha, were in the back seat.
And would you have left that interview room and pretty much went straight out to a vehicle and started driving around?
Yes,
Now, while you were driving around, at some point, did you approach or drive by Schmidt Road in Davenport?
yes.
What was DL's reaction when you passed that road?
He looked down that road, and then he said he remembered that road.
He indicated he had driven on that road that morning.
Yes,
When you drove on that road, or did you turn around and start going down that road at that point?
yes,
At some point, did he again start to describe the area they went fishing?
yes.
And do you recall what he described?
A hill.
Do you recall what he said about the hill?
I would have to refer to my notes to make sure.
Was that documented in a police report?
Should be.
And would reviewing that police report refresh your memory?
Yes.
May this witness refer to her police report?
She may.
The report says Detorius then began talking about a little hill and somewhere where you would fish.
Was that something he just volunteered during that drive?
Yes,
He wasn't even being asked about that at that point?
yes.
Now, eventually, did all of you end up at Credit Island?
We did.
And while you were at Credit Island, is that where DL had identified some footprints kind of in a muddy area by some water?
Yes,
And do you recall what he said about those footprints?
that they were his dad's.
Now, that particular area of Credit Island where he pointed out those footprints, are there any hills in that spot?
No.
How would you describe the terrain there?
It's kind of a flat area. There are trees. It's down by the water line. There's a gravel parking lot that we pulled into, and that's where he said his dad had parked. And then his dad had got out and went to the trunk and then went down to the water. And he took us to where his dad went, he said.
You described trees being by the water line. The parking lot, that gravel parking lot there, are there any trees kind of right in that area where the parking lot is?
No.
So he would have had a clear view of that area.
Yes.
So all of that took place then on July 10th, the day that Breasia went missing, correct?
Yes.
Did you have an occasion then to interview DL again?
Yes.
And would that have been on July 23rd of 2020?
Yes.
As we know, and as of July 23rd, had Breasia been located?
No.
When you met with DL on the 23rd, where did you meet with him?
At the police department?
And how was his demeanor during this interview?
It was different than it was before.
How was it different?
He didn't want to talk to me really. He seemed a little guarded, and he had told me that he was tired of talking to people.
Did he appear frustrated?
Yes.
So he was no longer this carefree kid that you had seen on July 10th.
Correct.
At some point during the interview, or at various points, does he cry?
Yes.
Do you know why he was crying?
I believe he was frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was this interview recorded as well?
Yes.
Who was all present during this interview?
It was just me and Detorius.
Now, is it typical to interview a child more than once?
It depends on the situation.
And what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Typically, if you're doing like a forensic interview with a victim, who is the actual victim of a crime, you typically want to try to interview them only once. And the reason for that is because it can be traumatizing to a victim to keep asking them. Plus, it's their story to tell. You're trying to find out from them what happened to them. So they can tell you their story if they want to.
Is that different than when you have a child who may have witnessed something?
Yes.
How so?
A lot of times children may not know what they have witnessed. sometimes if you have a traumatizing event or something, once they realize maybe something is traumatizing, children can provide information that they didn't tell you before. Children's minds can be fragmented also. They don't always remember everything in sequential order. And sometimes once time passes, they remember other things.
Now, as of July 23rd, had law enforcement also obtained more information in terms of their investigation?
Yes,
Had efforts been made to obtain surveillance video from all over?
yes,
And at that point, had there also been some cell phone location information that law enforcement had obtained?
yes.
And so, having all of that information, why did you want to speak with DL again?
We wanted to find out if he had any other information to give us reference finding his sister.
And at this point, had you actually observed the defendant and DL together on various surveillance videos?
Yes,
And when you interviewed DL on the 23rd, at that point, was there information about the defendant purchasing bleach at the Clinton Walmart on July 10th?
yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm handing you what's marked as State's Exhibit 158-2. You mentioned that the interview with DL on the 23rd of July was recorded. Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes,
And is this exhibit a fair and accurate copy of your interview with DL on the morning of July 23rd?
yes.
At this time, Your Honor, the state would offer Exhibit 158-2 into evidence.
No objection.
That exhibit is admitted.
Judge, this video, this interview is approximately 47 minutes long. I don't know if you want to take a break before that or just keep plugging through.
We will take a break before playing that video. We'll be in adjournment until approximately 11:15. Thank you.
All right, y'all. There you heard it. What y'all got to say about it? You heard it. You heard the L. And also, at first, this sister has only been missing for a few hours. Now it's been weeks. I couldn't understand that either, just Vanna. They were acting like she been underlined for hours, for in the wintertime. In the summertime, I was confused about that, but I was just going by what they said. What y'all got to say? Anybody want to come up? I invite you up. If you want to come up for a minute and talk and speak your mind, you can. No, I'm gonna drop the link, and I'll drop the link for a minute. And what I do, y'all, I'll come back this evening because I got to go back to work, and we gonna talk. We gonna finish it up. I'm gonna try to record it while I'm at work. But if you want to hit the link and say what's on your mind, now about what you just heard about DL, this is crazy. He lied to DL, y'all. He lied to that baby. He told him it was 6 million down there fishing, and he gave them $100 for a pole. Come on, man. Gave him $100 for a fishing pole, but what? He said something about he got. This is crazy. What y'all got to say? When I hear from y'all, this is crazy. This is crazy. And the little boy ain't seen nothing. And Henry always want to get something out of $100. He tried to get a man when he got stuck in the ditch $100. Now he trying to act like fisherman was down there fishing. He ain't have no pole. I told y'all this today. It's gonna be a trip today because it's almost over. Now the L story has not changed. When he got on the stand, he did say all that, but you could tell when he got frustrated, he got upset. Well, y'all, if ain't nobody coming up, I gotta go back to work. And so what I do is finish recording. They say 11:15. It's 12 o'clock. You know, I guess that's somewhere else. Nobody want to come up and say something? Well, all right, y'all. I'll be back with the second half, and we'll go live tonight. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, I love y'all. Be good.